Well, here we go. It's another Realities May Vary. Once again, I think I will cry with joy the day we start this with all three of us together. That will be a day. It will equal the emotion I felt when Molly was born, the emotion I felt on my wedding day. There will be, I will be overcome if there is ever a day that we start this show all together.
Yeah.
But Craig and I are here, that's good news because Craig has been busy moving into his house. And is this your new location?
This is. I am in the basement. It is an abbreviated setup because I'm still waiting a little bit longer to get the rest of the setup out of storage. But yeah, this is the house.
But Thor is there and Majmagar is there. Is that how you pronounce the hammer's name?
No, it's Mjolnir.
Yeah, Mjolnir, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's okay. And then also Vegeta is here.
Who's Vegeta?
The little guy with the yellow hair.
All right. I don't know who that is.
That's from Dragon Ball Z.
Of course I wouldn't know.
Also from that anime.
Wow. Yeah. You're bailed on the Yankees, huh? Even though they beat up on the White Sox for a few days.
Sweet, buddy.
I know. I'm going to see. There he is. The man who a couple hours ago was ready to start the show. And yet,
I'm Vegeta Kakarot.
9,000 power
as
level.
Always. Hi, Cody.
What, 9,000? I forgot to put my belt back on after I urinated, and now I'm putting it on.
So you take your belt off to go to the bathroom? What are you, George Costanza?
I take my pants off to go number two.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. I do.
You don't take your pants all the way off to drop a deuce.
Yes, I do. And I love doing it. And my wife always gets mad, but yes, I do, Noonan.
Why? Wait, so if you're at work and you've had a bad burrito lunch,
not there.
And you have to run to the WC, you're taking your pants all the way off.
This is in the freedom of my own home, which, by the way, I own a home. When I do it nice. I do it pantsless. We're missing the biggest topic of the day.
No, wait, we're going to get to that because that's going to take up some time. Let's be honest. That one's gonna. Yeah, that story is gonna. I think that story
is that how it was. Was it a slow burn?
No, not at all. Not at all. Mjolnir. Oh, Mjolnir. Mike is
Mjolnir.
Thank you, Mike. Mjolnir.
Mjolnir.
Hello, everybody. Dropping in. Try to readjust everything. No. So wait. Now, like if I'm trying to think if I ever take my pants all the way off.
Scrubs did a joke about it, and I saw that episode of Scrubs, and I was like, I don't think this is a joke. I think this is real. And then I tried it, and it's wonderful. I encourage everyone to do it. Drop all your deuces completely pantsless.
Well, if I'm going into the shower or something, I do enjoy the ability to widespread as they. But I'm not a weird congressman in an airport bathroom. So I'm not trying to put a signal out there to, hey, why don't you drop by my stall for a little hanky and panky?
Again, in public, I have different rules. This is in the privacy of my own home.
Well, yeah, if you're taking your pants all the way off in public, you're going to end up on the front page of the Peoria Journal-Star with, and there will be, a red bar across your eyes.
Yes.
Man arrested at the bus station, and I don't know why you're at the bus station taking a deuce.
I keep telling you guys, I live within a few hundred feet of a school. So you can't do this stuff or you won't be able to visit.
That's true. What are you slurping on there?
Yeah, that was a lot.
That was a
little
lot.
Little shock top Belgian white.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't get a drink.
Oh, you are never going to catch up to me then.
Did you not have to work today, or did you just start drinking just for fun?
I took the week off work.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not working.
Well, that's right, because you weren't going to be here today. You had warned us that you might not be coming today, but you changed your mind for reasons that would be.
I'm going. Have I talked on the Brian Noonan show about Martin Con? When I go up.
No, what is Martin Con? Is that Martin Lawrence convention?
No, my friend Jonathan Martin, my co-host on Game Life Balance US, back when that was a thing. Good friend of mine. He hosts all my high school friends once a year, every Memorial Day, and that is this weekend. So,
you said you were going to Madison for the weekend, but you didn't say you had to pregame for 3 days, or Minneapolis.
Minneapolis this time, yeah. So, but we're leaving Thursday morning and staying until Monday. So I'm taking a little vacay, and just figured, taking some time off, take the week off. Just take the week off. Just take the whole week off. You know what I mean? Yeah, take the week off. Yeah, I just wanted
Can we go back first? I hate vacay. I hate the word vacay. I hate the idea of abbreviating vacation. Well. That is one of the dumbest. I remember in college when college girls started to say that all the time, and it made me mad then. And it still made me mad when Cody just did it now.
I don't blame you. I am always annoyed by those kind of little cutesy catchphrases. Oh, that's a butter. That's going to make you shut up.
What's the chicken tendies? Tendies drives me insane.
Oh, if you're an adult and say chicken tendies, I reserve the right to take one and jam it down your throat till you choke to death.
Thank you. Yes.
No. Yeah, no, chicken tendies is not okay. Tendies is fine. If you're
it's not.
No, if you're making tendies, if you're investing in GameStop stock and you're going to get you some tendies, then I got to check their price, by the way. They're over 200 today. Did you know that?
Really?
$200 a share. Yeah, I did not.
I bowed out of cryptocurrency the first time I heard somebody say cryptocurrency.
He said GameStop.
GameStop.
Yeah. Oh, GameStop is a stock, yes.
Not GameStop coin. Oh, they're at 215. Let's go, dude. Oh, they're halfway to where I'm going to sell. Oh, let's go, dude. Oh, Cody's going to make some money when he finally sells after the 4 other times he should have sold. Let's go, dude. Craig, did it upset you when girls said that in college because they didn't talk to you? Oh, got him.
Wow, it took you a long time to come up with that retort.
It did.
No, you guys were saying other things, and so I had to wait. I was waiting my turn.
I did well in college, actually. In high school, I did not do well. In college, ladies seemed to like me more. I'll just answer. Dude. Yeah.
Yeah, let's go, dude. Craig, the Hammer, Mjolnir Collins.
Wow.
On WSEX. Let's go, dude.
So he's hammered. So
somebody
Cody's
has been enjoying his day off with some beverages.
That's good. Yeah.
That is very nice. No, I don't like tendies. I don't like when somebody calls you bae or boss or, a queen. All those little phrases just bother me.
Brian,
but if you're a grown man who wants to eat tendies, I'm kicking you right in the childlike nards.
I also don't like I'm here for it. When someone says in support of you, I'm here for it, that actually also annoys me, and that's just regular slang, I think.
Oh, I haven't heard that one.
Huh. Yeah.
I don't like I did a thing.
I say that all the time.
Yeah, I don't like it. Now that it's come out, I don't like it.
Well, Brian, I think you need to stand Craig. That's what you got to do.
I need to stand him?
No, stand.
Stan. Yeah.
I don't know what it means.
I don't know what
you don't know what
either.
That means?
I think that saying is sus.
No, I think Cody is trying to support a relationship between the two of us. I think that's standing. When you stand two people, you want them in a romantic relationship.
The one I cannot do is app for appetizer. Like, you want to order some apps. Like, I just want the person to die.
That's the only one?
That's the only one.
Really?
Wow.
You're much more tolerant or drunk than the rest of us. I'm much more judgmental when it comes to any sort of figures of speech. Unless I'm throwing them around ironically, which I am wont to do.
Yeah.
But I do.
Anyway.
No. Yeah. Anyway.
Brian,
so wait. No. Well, last week we got to clear this up because last week, Craig, you were moving in. Oh, Mike. Wow, Mike coming out with the adult slangs.
Wait, no. I was gonna say I was thinking Stan, and then I was like, "What's that other one?" And it is what is simp? What is simp?
Isn't it the same thing? If you're simping someone, isn't that when someone's a pathetic version in the relationship?
Yeah, it's being pathetic where they don't return your affection or you're paying a lot of money and they don't give you anything in return.
If you simp for a lady, you're a pathetic man who wants them very badly and they don't actually like you.
Right. Yeah. You are below the friend zone.
Correct.
Which is another annoying term. The friend zone. You know what the friend zone is? Sitting in the dark crying with some tissues for whatever.
Just go ahead. Get it all out, Noonan. Let's get to all of it.
Just let it all out. Last week there were a lot of questions. Last week there were all of them. Last week there were a lot of questions about your home, Craig, because a couple weeks ago when you were here, you were taking calls on the inspections. Things were not going well, but now you've told us you're in the house. So I'm guessing things went well.
Huge shout out to my real estate agent. Her name is Carol Rapp. If anyone in the Peoria area is looking for a real estate agent, I highly recommend her. There was some negotiating problems back and forth between the owners and us, and Carol inevitably, and I don't know if it's okay to, I'm pretty sure I can say this, decided to eat into her own money. She's going to use some of the money she would have made on the sale to fix the things the owners wouldn't fix. So I don't have to fix them. Yeah. My real estate agent went above and beyond to finish the sale. It was incredible.
That's
very
insane.
nice.
Insane.
I know. It is.
And now you're in there. You're broadcasting from your new basement.
Mm-hmm.
There's Roger. Roger chiming in. I owe Roger a call. He called me yesterday. I didn't get the voicemail till today, and I've been running around. So I will call you tomorrow, Roger. Answer the phone or don't at your leisure. It's fine. I'll probably leave a message, but I may not.
Roger's looking for advice on beers to stock a beer fridge for a party. I said Shock Top. It was a big hit at my party.
Yeah, but you also said what'd you say? LaCroix and White Claws.
Yeah, can't you just go standard, Roger? Can't you go with one of the Bud Lights, Miller Lights, any of those for a standard celebration?
As my brother calls them, regular beers.
Right. Yeah.
We're having a thing, and he's like, "Hey, will you take care of the beer?" I go, "Sure." He goes, "No, regular beer." I go, "What do you mean regular beer?" He goes, not like that, Coors Light or Bud's Light, not that stuff you drink. I'm like, okay, all right. Stuff I drink is pretty good. I actually went out because last week, gentlemen, was Illinois Craft Beer Week. And so Saturday I went out and hit a couple of my Illinois craft beer places. Went to Flapjack on Saturday, had a nice pizza, a couple of beers. They had the little passport frame. So I was able to take my picture, tag it for the gram. You got to do everything for the gram. Then we went to Buckle Down for the gram. So that was fun.
I got locked out of my gram. Have I told you guys that?
No. What'd you do? Nudes?
I got locked out. No.
Junk pics?
Nudes. No, I had traveled a bit, and I guess Instagram got worried that I wasn't me anymore. And then I changed my cell phone number. I had a different number, and I had two-step authorization, whatever that is, two-factor set up, and it was the wrong cell phone number. So the travel plus the cell phone change, Instagram locked me out for a month and a half.
Oh, no.
I know, and they kept asking me for like photos of myself, and I would go above and beyond and send silly videos mocking them for not thinking I'm me. And they just kept putting me back through the loop of, you got to start with step one again. And eventually they let me back in, but it took way too long.
Do you post a lot on Instagram?
No,
I was going to say, I follow you on there. I know you, I'm one of your minions.
I was gone. I was fully gone for a month and a half, so I couldn't post, but now I'm not terribly active.
All right. I try, sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not. Usually it's, when it comes, as I looked back, my Instagram feed is pretty predictable. It's pictures of me with beer, me at the theater, me smoking a cigar, and occasionally a picture of me at school. Is
there any of you at a theater with a cigar and or a beer?
Well, unfortunately, they don't allow me to smoke cigars in theaters anymore. That's sad.
Maybe outside the theater?
Nah, I save all my cigar smoking for the deck.
Okay.
Hashtag deck life. Hashtag Saturday vibes. Hashtag backyard oasis. Hashtag cigar.
Are we going there?
Going where?
The story, the deck life story. I want it so bad.
Craig is ready. All right, here's the.
I stand decks.
You stain decks? You stain decks with what?
Wow.
I stand decks.
You stand decks. See, every time you say stand, all I think of is Eminem. With Elton, Eminem's song "Stand," which is fantastic.
I've never heard of that.
How have you never heard of that? That's what it's all about. That's what the whole Stan lingo comes from. That song "Stand" by Eminem, about a fan who is obsessed with Eminem, Stan, and then doesn't get a response and kills his girlfriend, puts her in the trunk, his pregnant girlfriend in the trunk of his car, and drives off a bridge. And then they find a cassette in the car, and it's to Stan. And at the end, Eminem is answering the letter, and he goes, "Hey, don't do anything crazy. I read about a guy who, it's you." Right? That's pretty much it.
New segment on the show that has to come back is Brian fully explaining the context of certain rap songs or rap videos. I need the full. That was wonderful.
Listen, I love Eminem.
I remember
I'm Slim
that.
Shady, the real Slim Shady. All you other Shadys.
Can we get a beatbox from Cody?
No, I remember this song now. And Brian, I would love if you would just rap it for us.
You know what? If I had the lyrics in front of me, I would bust it out right now.
We can make that happen.
I love, but it was he had his brother there, had him sign a starter hat, standing in the rain outside your show. Maybe we could be together. Can't say that. Maybe that kind of stuff's make us not want to meet each other. I'm pulling out random lines from Stan.
Hold
And
on.
it's pretty good. I think I'm doing pretty good. Pulling out those major lines. I'm rap-splaining. Yes, Mike, I am rap-splaining.
New segment on the show.
Yeah, that's the segment. Rap-splaining. Let's get a lower third for it right now.
Brian rap-splains. Realities may vary.
This show went off the rails within seconds. Oh, it's lovely.
It should.
It's a good night.
I think it will be.
Good set of realities. So, Craigley, did you find... Hold on. He's going to kill me. He's going to murder me. What
do you want to say, Cody?
No, not that you. That's what I already said.
Did I find what?
No.
I only heard did I find.
No, I called you Craigley, and I figured...
No, I just ignored it. I just got over that one.
Okay, all right.
It's not even the one I hate the most. I talked about the nickname I hate the most. It's not Craigley.
Fortunately, I don't listen to anything anyone says, including myself, so I have no idea what that was. DJ Big Bri, let's go, dude. All right. Yeah.
I rap-splayed. I rap-splayed Stan. It's one per week.
Hey, Brian, can you check your email, by the way, real quick, Brian?
Sure. Which, yeah, hold on.
The Yahoo.
All right. I got to get there. You guys talk amongst yourselves.
All right. My name is Craig, Cody. Just 5 letters.
Listen, that's the kind of small talk Cody does not cotton to, Craig. I don't know if you know this. Cody doesn't like small talk. He doesn't want to hear your crazy little, jibber jabber.
It was the beer talking. By happy coincidence, a new patch dropped in Final Fantasy 14 today. So I got to play new content in my
Mass
favorite video
Effect
game.
Legends Edition, Legendary Edition came out. It has been a lovely experience rewalking through those games.
You're playing Legendary Edition already?
Of Mass Effect, yeah. I played all 3 games. So when the Legendary Edition came out, I was very excited. Bought it on day one. Steam had some problems, though, so there were a few glitches, but they fixed those, and it's been nice.
Are we not friends on Steam?
We are not.
What is Steam?
We absolutely have to fix that. It's basically what people play PC
It sounds like a pickup app.
I don't know that I want to be friends with
train engineers.
Dude, all that we'll do is I'll see Craig is playing Mass Effect, and you'll see Cody is playing Final Fantasy 14. But it makes me feel more connected to you, Craig. How did you feel about the big controversy about the ending into the 3rd game?
When it happened, like you mean all the years ago? I tremendously hate that game. Well, actually, I love that game. I hate the ending to that game. It's just like Lost or anything that I bought into that then ruined it at the end. I look back on it with disdain, but I still wanted to play through the games with a new remastered version. Noonan, I'm sure you're loving this conversation.
Yes, I'm just trying to figure out how I can imitate Dido.
Okay. Did you get the lyrics I sent you?
I did. I'm looking at them right now. That's why I'm saying. I don't know if you remember that Eminem and Dido do like a Sonny and Cher, "I Got You, Babe," to start this all off before Eminem jumps in rapping as Stan.
Can we play the music, but not like the real version? I know we can't play the real version. Can we find a knockoff, like elevator version that's Creative Commons free?
I can do a beatbox.
Hold on. Let me see if I can find a free version.
That's nowhere near close to, He's gone cold. I'm wondering why I got out of bed at all. The morning rain clouds up my window, and I can't see it all. And even if I could, it'd all be gray. But your picture's on my wall. It reminds me that it's not so bad. Not so bad.
Yeah. It's mostly a dramatic reading. I like
it. Is a dramatic reading.
Yeah.
Then they repeat that, and then Eminem jumps in. Dear Slim, I wrote you, but you ain't calling. I left my cell, my pager, and my home phone at the bottom. I sent 2 letters back at autumn, but you not have got them. It probably was a problem at the post office or something. I don't know who this guy is. Stan sounds like he has brain damage. Sometimes I scribble addresses too sloppy when I jot them. But anyway, blanket. What's been up, man? How's your daughter? My girlfriend's pregnant too. I'm about to be a father. I have a daughter. Guess what I'm gonna call her? I'm gonna name her Barbie. Bonnie. I read about your Uncle Ronnie too. I'm sorry. I had a friend kill himself over some who didn't want him. I know you probably hear this every day, but I'm your biggest fan. I even got the underground stuff you did with Scam. I got a room full of your posters and your pictures, man. I like that stuff you did with Rockers too. That stuff was fat PH. Anyway, I hope you get this, man. Hit me back just to chat. Yours truly, your biggest fan. This is Stan. All right, Cody. Now you get it?
Wow.
Word life.
Didn't SNL make fun of that?
Oh, dude.
Of Stan?
Yeah. They did
Probably.
a remake of it. Yeah.
Could be.
You know what, Brian? You know what, Brian? That was better rap. That was better rap. You know who that was better rap than today, specifically?
Eminem.
Your boy, John Cena.
Why is my boy John Cena rapping? And one, not my boy. Anybody who wears jorts, not my boy. We'll go out way out on a limb. You put on jean shorts, you immediately drop from my boy status.
Mm-hmm. By the way, to answer Mike's question real quick, I'm a male Shep. I play the Mark Mears version, not the Jennifer Hale. Although I think Jennifer Hale's a better voice actor, but I'm a man.
Wow.
See, I would go femme Shep. I always play a female in video games when I can.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, that's because you were an original groundling back in Shakespearean England.
Thank you. John, you didn't see this news about John Cena today, Brian?
I was off the wrestling news sites today after last night. I watched the Heartbreak Kid documentary, the Shawn Michaels documentary. So I was filled up with my WWE news for a couple of days.
Was it good?
It was very good.
It's not WWE news. It's technically political news. And I feel like we need a warning when we go into these things, because I don't think we should talk about this stuff anymore. And I just want to play alarms down warnings.
Oh, wait. I honestly don't know what Cody's talking about. I did watch the Shawn Michaels documentary last night, and that's...
No, Craig, I don't want to talk
all the wrestling
about it.
Stuff I did.
Craig, I don't want to talk about it. I just want to literally tell him the one sentence of what happened. So John Cena apparently was promoting Fast and the Furious 9, because there has to be 9.
Sure, why not?
And he accidentally, I don't know how this happens, but he accidentally in an interview called Taiwan a country when he was promoting it in China. And China says that Taiwan is not a country. So he posted like a 3-minute video in Mandarin Chinese, which he speaks, random fact, apologizing to China. Anyway, it was a lot bigger news than WWE. It was trending on Twitter like all day. Everybody was making fun of him.
I don't know. I did not see that. And usually that's something, because I have a jorts alert.
That was all. That was all, Craig. We don't have to talk about it. That's what happened. It's just what happened. It's funny.
Fine. I'm not talking about it again. You know
what?
Funny
and weird.
It's okay. You know what was trending #1 on Twitter last night though? BTS Butter. BTS and their new song Butter was the #1 trending on Twitter. I think #2 was like the George Floyd 1 year. It was sad to see BTS above that. I don't know why.
I'm glad you explained it, because I was like, they went into the dairy business?
No, they have
what's going on?
They have a song.
BTS Butter. It's spreadable and smooth, just like the boys.
It was sad to see that above other things, though.
Yeah.
Dude, no, BTS is always #1. And fun fact, John Cena, huge BTS fan. Also fun fact, John Cena follows Curiosity on Twitter.
Wow. It's a lot of fun facts. Roger is taking off. He's got things to do at his new house. All right, Roger, I will talk to you tomorrow. We'll try to get that beer fridge stocked up for you. Congrats again on the new house. You and Craig, homeowners now. This is very exciting.
It's crazy.
Very exciting. I don't know what Cody's up to.
I'm gonna show you.
What are you going to show me?
Boom. Look at that.
What?
You can't see it.
Can't read any of that.
John Cena follows
John
you.
Cena.
John Cena follows you.
You didn't follow him back?
Oh, John Cena follows you. Wow. Yep. He's got a forum of thoughts. Really?
What?
John Cena has a forum of thoughts and perspectives.
Why don't you follow him back?
Don't want to.
Because Cody's not interested in his forum of thoughts. Cody just wants his own forum of thoughts.
I just want my own forum of thoughts.
Wants things to do. I apologize for this. This is very awkward. I have to run for like a second.
Yeah, you got to go.
I'll be right back.
Take your time.
Go back to that goofy stuff that I didn't understand that you were talking about. whatever video
Dragon
game,
Ball.
why you guys are dressing up as women on video games. And I'll be back in a sec.
No. I had Craig, when he was doing the rap, I thought two things. I thought the John Cena thing randomly, and then there was another thing I thought of, and it's gone. What were you going to say?
I can never play the girl in a video game. I can't be a female character. It's not because I'm a sexist. It's because I'm a man. I want to be a boy because that's what I am in real life. And when people talk to me, I want them to talk to a boy. Is that bad?
What view are they looking at Commander Shepard from? What part of his body do you see most of the time? Is it his back?
I don't think it's nothing.
Is his butt in the shot?
I don't think so.
Do you like to look at a boy's butt for 400 hours? Because I like to look at a girl's butt, not a boy's butt, if given the option.
It's
and all butts are great. I lived in Wicker Park, so I understand there's nice boy butts. Like Wicker Park,
that person though. When I have the conversations with the other characters, they talk to me, and I want to be a boy because that's what I am.
I believe that women can be strong female characters.
As do I. I heard that Jennifer Hale does an incredible job of voice acting the hell out of that role. I've never played it.
I don't know who that is.
It's the actress who played. Anyway,
does she have a nice butt?
I have.
That's not relevant.
I don't understand how you're coming off less sexist than me in this conversation because of the things you're saying. I can't play a female character. Yeah,
it's the shock top talking.
There we go. How many shock tops have you had?
More than one. How many have you had?
0. I've had 0 drinks. I'm contemplating giving up drinking for a bit.
Do it.
Why? Don't be a quitter.
Just to do it. Not because I have to. I'm not addicted. I just I like taking time out.
You could stop
wait
anytime
till
you
October,
want.
then you can do sober October, then you can do dry January, then you can do temperate August. There's a lot of, you can try them all.
I also want to lose weight. That is another part of it.
You know what? Yes. I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
That you need to lose weight. No, that when I lost all my weight, all I drank was light beer. If I drank beer at all, and it was very it does make a difference.
Yeah, soda too. I got to drop all soda from my diet, I think.
Yeah, that was the first thing to go.
Okay.
Sody pop.
Good talk.
Yeah. All right.
Craig, aren't you a big fan of the Fast and the Furious movies?
Yes.
So you like watching cars drive fast?
Yes.
Do you also watch NASCAR?
No.
Why not?
Because he likes when cars turn all different directions.
Oh my God. That was the funniest response I've ever seen. Let's not talk about NASCAR or Fast and Furious. Let's talk about the G.I. Joe movie, the second one.
That one's bad. The first one's not that bad. The second one's
You're
terrible.
an awful human. The
You're
second
a terrible
one was
human.
Phenomenal.
No, it's not. It's real bad. Can we talk about Brian and the life-changing weekend he had?
I knew you were waiting to get to this story.
So bad.
That's why I actually had to run into the bathroom beforehand, because I knew this story might take some time. But I have to give Tim a shout out because Tim referenced Ken Nordine and word jazz, and that is probably one of the most esoteric and highly intellectual references that has been made during any one of these podcasts. So, Tim, thank you. He enjoyed my reading of Eminem's Stan lyrics and called me the new Nordine. So I'll take it.
Can I go get a drink before this story too?
Please do.
Okay, I need a timeout then.
Yeah, this is this could be something.
All right, and when he gets back, I'm gonna need another drink.
Oh my God, this is you guys might. This there were only 4 people who knew this was happening. No, 5 people who knew this was happening. 3 of them are here. One of them is my wife, and one of them is CB, the insatiable insomniac.
Well, so one was my wife by extension.
Well, yeah, but you probably told her. How did she react? Well, you can tell me that. We could talk about that. I don't want to get into it before Craig is here.
Sure.
Craig has been very patient for the last 30 minutes because he wants to jump right into it right away. And I'm like, let's get a few other things out of the way first, and then we'll turn our attention to this, because you brought this up last week that it was going to be an alert. Mm-hmm. There was going to be an update every week. So we have an update this week.
Yeah.
But I'm also trying to decide now seriously about a haircut, because I have a wedding to go to in August. And I'm wondering if I wait all the way till then, it'll be about a year from my last haircut. And I don't know. Some days I'm like, yeah, the long hair is pretty cool. And then some days I'm like, dude, you're not 23. You got to change your look. You got to go back to something a little more well-kempt. But who knows? All right, now Cody, Craig's back. So Cody, go get your drink.
No, I think I'm good. I don't think
I can
fit anything in my system. Craig, what did you get? What'd you get?
It's actually just water.
Water is
just
good.
water.
That's probably best. You don't need to. Yeah.
We don't have any. We don't have any drinks here. I thought we did, and we don't.
I'm going to DoorDash you. I'm going to DoorDash you a 24-pack of Keystone Light right now as your housewarming gift. As soon.
Oh, my cousin is on. My cousin Kevin, who is I love Kevin because he's his own man. He rides a Harley. He operated heavy equipment, and he's got really, really long hair. And so in his mind, I got to let this keep going. So I might. We'll see.
Craig, I forgot my DoorDash password, so you're not getting any beer tonight. But
and you don't know my address.
But I tried.
You don't know your address?
No, he doesn't know my address. He can't send me things. I do.
You could have texted me your address.
I had to go when we moved to LA. A day after we moved there, I went to an interview to get on a game show, and they asked my address, and I had no idea. And I didn't have it. I hadn't changed my license or anything. I didn't know my address. I had to call Debbie and go, "Hey, where do we live?" And which made them very suspicious of the fact that I was actually a local resident. Like, I don't think this is good.
This man is
Mike
lying.
says Drizzly is better. We have used Drizzly here at the house. When you're too lazy and drunk to go get your own booze, call Drizzly.
I'm literally downloading Drizzly right now. Craig,
we've used it. It works very well.
Craig, I need you to
telling me to please get a haircut. Christine, please get a haircut. I'm personally offending people.
Yeah, no, you're fine. I'm getting my own Drizzly.
Are you?
Yes.
That's a good idea.
Let me be your housewarming present. I can. You know what? You probably do it faster than me right now.
I got it
for no particular reason, but I'll Venmo you.
I think we know the reason. We know the reason is you're hammered.
I'm not. Shut up. You're hammered.
Drizzly isn't available at my address.
It is. Oh my God.
It is not.
Craig.
It's not.
No, I can't Drizzly myself.
Peoria.
Dude. I would Drizzly you, but this is a family-friendly podcast.
Well, that might change.
Yeah, it might. Let's do it.
All right. So here's the deal. So Saturday, Cody last week, Craig, when you weren't here, Cody said he wanted to do an update about me getting high because it's been a topic of conversation for a long time. And as everybody knows, in my 50 plus years on the planet, I have never smoked marijuana. That all came to an abrupt end on Saturday. I sent you guys a picture of just the pre-rolled joint on the placemat, and I said, S is about to get real. And the immediacy and energy of your responses was hilarious to me. I couldn't believe what was happening. It was you guys were more excited about it than I was. You were there was something about the two of you that it was just like you went nuts. So I sent you the text because here's what happened. This is how it all came to be. So we were out and I mentioned it was Illinois Craft Beer Week. So we had done a bunch of work around the house. And then for lunch, we went to Flapjack Brewing in Berwyn and we had a pizza and a couple of beers. And then we went over to Buckle Down in Lyons and we had a beer. And on the way home, Debbie said, I think we were sitting at Buckle Down. She goes, I think when we go home, I'm going to smoke a joint. Now, she said that countless times before and never done it. And as I mentioned, we have, because now it's legal, so I don't care who knows it, we have some cannabis in the house, which I guess smells really strong. It is in a mason jar, then in 2 Ziploc bags, then in a Tupperware container. And Debbie, when the lid came off of the Tupperware container, was like, oh, man. So we get home, and to prep for this, I'm making sure I have everything else done. Because one of my CB, the Insomniac, Chris, had said, you're building this up too much. And you guys may have said that too. You're building this up too much. Nothing is going to happen if you decide to smoke marijuana. All right, well, let's see. So everything gets done. I pour myself a beer and we go out to the deck. And it's Debbie, myself, and the dogs. And we have some yacht rock on, which is competing with a live mariachi band that is playing on the next block. So it was a weird, the whole vibe was already a little crazy.
Yes.
So I've got Steely Dan coming out of my little brick on the table. I've got live, lovely mariachi music playing. So I'm like in stereo, but with different channels. And it was very strange. So this joint had been pre-rolled for us in the little, they make those things where all you have to do is put the cannabis in the cone and then twist the end. So you don't actually have to roll a joint. So we start.
Can you start calling it pot? You don't need to call it cannabis.
I was going to call it the devil's salad, but then people think I'm an idiot.
It's fine. You're doing great. The story's great.
The sticky icky. I don't know what it is. And I asked the guy who gave it to me a couple of weeks ago. I go, "Hey, what's the strain of this stuff that you gave me?" And he goes, "I don't know." He grew it, but he doesn't know. He goes, "I think it was." Let's see. Was it in the house? I don't know. Maybe it's, I don't know what it was. It didn't matter. So Debbie takes the first hit of this joint and starts choking like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like she is going to die.
Yeah.
She hands it to me and I take this giant hit. Nothing. No, I don't cough.
What?
Wow.
It's like I've been smoking cigars for years and I know, I inhaled it and I held it and then I blew it out. And I was like, oh, this is pretty easy. And then Debbie, every time Debbie would take a hit, she's like, I'm like, oh, a little bit harsh, huh, man? What's going on? And here's the mariachi music. And then, Brandy, she's a fine girl, fine. Everything is, hitting. And so I take a few more big hits. And then Debbie takes a couple hits. And I'm fine. And I'm just sitting there going, everybody was right. Nothing is going to happen to me. This is a ripoff.
That's no fun.
Oh my God, what is happening to me? Suddenly, it felt like 10,000 Tinkerbells were in my body and were flitting around and were shooting down from my head out my toes. It was insane. There was this, it felt great, but it was this weird buzzing. And I was like, haha. And I'm sitting on the deck in the patio chair. And my arms, I'm sitting pretty much bolt upright. My arms are on the arms of the chair. And I'm like, whoa, this is wild. And the weird thing was, like, my mind was clear, but my body was acting like a complete fool. My body had decided it was going to do what it wanted, and my mind be damned. I have a list of things. Thankfully, Debbie took more joy in my what I was saying and the craziness that was going on, rather than like taping me or recording me. Because if she had been running video, it would have been, you guys could have made a fortune. It would have been an NFT that I could have sold for $1 bazillion. So I'm sitting there and the Tinkerbells are flying through my body. And all of a sudden, my calves started to feel like they were expanding. And they were getting tight like balloons. And I said to Debbie, I go, hey, are my calves like the size of watermelons? And she actually looked. So I don't know. I don't know if this is a common thing, but she looked under the table and she's like, no. I said, man, because they feel really big. And then things started getting heavy. And I don't mean the mood, because the mariachis were still going. And by this time, I think Year of the Cat was playing on the yacht rock. So we had a little bit of everything going. But my body started to feel like it weighed 40,000 pounds. Everything was getting heavy. And then my ass felt as if it was melting and melding with the chair. The webbing of the patio chair and my ass were starting to become one and ooze through the chair onto the deck, which had me a tad nervous. But again, it's all fun. Everything's feeling good, and my mind is working. Now you guys have smoked the weed before.
Mm-hmm.
Have I?
Well, if you have does any of this sound familiar?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it could.
Because Debbie was like, I've never heard of that. But so my arms were really heavy. My body was really heavy. At one point, I felt like Ben Grimm, the Thing from the Fantastic Four. And I was like, I'm sitting here. And now I also learned, like, I'm funny regularly. Hi, Brian is hilarious. Hi, Brian, stop it. The only thing that would keep me from being Hi, Brian on stage is I can't move. So, like, you would have to get me high backstage and then push me out in a wheelchair and just put the mic in front of me. And I'd be like, some paralyzed comic just going, ha ha. And then I was cognizant of the fact that, like, when I'm drunk, I think that I'm hilarious, but I'm really slurring and I'm an idiot. But this one, my mind was so clear. That was the weird part. And I kept going to Debbie, I think I'm being really funny and speaking clearly, am I? And she was like, yes, you're fine. I was like, okay. So at one point I said to her, this is one of the, she texted me some phrases that she thought were funny.
All right.
When I talked about being Ben Grimm, and I go, I'm sitting here and I feel large, like all this, like I'm just sitting here with my Rocky Girth. And I go, that was my porn name, Rocky Girth. So she said that. She also said my calves feel like watermelon. And my ass was melting through the chair. Oh, my feet were tingly. I told you.
Can I ask you about a text you sent to Cody and I?
About anything you want, Craig.
You sent us a text that said, remind me of the face in the house across the alley. Yes. And how high me proved to Debbie. I was right. Fuck. I'm sorry. I don't know how often we've said that word on this.
We haven't yet. That was the first time.
I should have taped all of this.
Well, here's the good news and the bad news. I have 2 audio recordings, high as F and high as F number 2. It appears that I was talking into the wrong end of the phone. Because you can't understand anything that is on these 2 recordings, but I'm keeping them because I think someday down the road, having high as F and high as F2 on my phone might be something.
Oh yeah.
I wanted to say the actual word. I'm sorry. I don't know if that's okay. I don't know if we have the explicit warning on.
Road, man. We can say high as fuck. Because here's the other thing. Hi, Brian loves to say motherfucker. I don't know why. Hi, Brian does.
You turn into Samuel L. Jackson?
Well, a little bit, especially when I was arguing with the house across the alley. Which
I love that sentence.
Of course. Now this, I will grant you before I go any further. This part I knew it was real, but I knew I was doing, like, I was exaggerating a bit. I was making it funny. But I'm sitting, and I've sat in this chair on my deck countless times, and I've looked across the alley countless times. The house across the alley put a little addition on their back, at the back of the house, and it goes up just in a rectangle, and the top, like the bottom is brick, but the top is just white siding. And then it has 2 oblong windows right next to each other. Underneath, it had a hole where an air conditioner used to be. And then there was a round opening where they had taken out a lamp, like an outside lamp that wasn't there. And as I'm sitting there, because at this point now my body had also inside started doing this, started swaying back and forth. On the outside, again, I was sitting perfectly still because I could not move. So much so, and I'll tell about the house. I'll tell about the house. So I'm looking at this house, and I'm looking, and I'm like, that's a face. That house has a face. It looks surprised. Why are you looking at me? And I start arguing with a house. Oh, what are you doing looking at me like you're so surprised? Oh, you surprised I'm sitting out here on my deck? You shouldn't be, because I'm out here all the time. What are you looking at, you blockhead MFer? I'm going to come over there and knock your MFing head off. And Debbie's like, "Oh, you are so high." And I was like, "No, it looks like a face." She's like, "It does not look like a face. Come over here." So she was getting up to go in and get something to drink. And I said, "Come and stand right behind me. Now look over at this house and look at the windows are the eyes, the air conditioner hole is the nose, and the round surprise part where the lamp used to be is the mouth." And she's like, "Oh man, it does look like a face."
Okay, but she still had a valid point. You were screaming at the house that had a face.
Well, she did shush me a couple times because she was afraid that neighbors would hear me arguing with a house and probably call the authorities. But the lights were out at both of my next door neighbors, so I didn't think anybody was home. So yeah, I had a little tiff with the house. The bad part is on Sunday, I went back out to look at the house. They had gotten up early and put the lamp back up. So now the mouth part is gone. But I can still prove to me. But and then a window on the side looked like the ear, so it looked like a cartoon character. It was like something out of the Money for Nothing video from Dire Straits.
Yeah.
So, Tim is. Imagine what kind of colors Hi Brian saw. Hi Brian only saw some shadows moving, and I thought it was the dogs. But one dog was out in the yard and one dog was under the table. So I don't know if Shadow Dog was actually going on. So I kept smoking, and we got down where it was really close to the end. And I'm trying to hold it and that was when it was one, burning my fingers, and two, very harsh. So Debbie Debbie's a problem solver. She's a hard worker. She goes into the house, comes out with some chopsticks.
Ooh.
So now we're holding the roach with some chopsticks. And she's like, you shouldn't smoke anymore. And I was like, I should smoke some more. And so I'm holding it with the chopsticks, and I'm doing trying to suck in all the devil's nectar to get high, So then it became very cliched. I became the really high guy because Debbie went in and brought out Doritos.
Yes.
So we're sitting there. Now my ass is still melting through the seat. The Tinkerbells are still flying through my body. I can't move my arms or legs because I'm just sitting there petrified in my rocky girthness. But I can reach for the Doritos. And I'm like, oh, these are the best Doritos ever. And then I was
Were
like,
they the best Doritos you've ever had?
They were pretty good Doritos. They're a little stale because it was toward the end of the bag, to be honest. Then I decide I'm hungry. I got to have something to eat. And there's really nothing in the house that I could pretty much figure out. But I was like, all right, I'm going in. I had some frozen egg white and turkey sausage muffins, some Jimmy Dean's Delights in the freezer.
What?
And I was like, I'm going to make me a Jimmy Dean's Delight. Problem was, I had to stand up to do that. And it took me a Herculean effort to get out of my chair. Just to raise up, not even to walk. Because once I rose up, I realized I couldn't walk. This chair, literally, all I had to do is turn around and take 2 steps, and I would have been through the kitchen door, the sliding door into the kitchen. I almost fell through the door because my legs would not move. But I rallied because when I need a Jimmy Dean's Delight, there is nothing that will deter me.
Sure.
So I get into the kitchen, and my mind is still there because I know how long I have to defrost it. I know I have to turn it over halfway through. I know I have to cook it then for a minute. And while I'm in there, I might as well grab a beer. So I do all that. But now it takes all my focus to walk back 8 feet to my chair on the deck, at the most 8 feet. And I sit down with a thud reserved for if you dropped a watermelon off a building. And I ate that muffin like it had been bequeathed to me from God. It was delicious. So delicious. And then I wanted a pizza. But we didn't get a pizza. And for some reason, then I got a hankering for pecan sandies. I wanted a cookie, and I wanted I wanted it to be a pecan sandy. Neither one of which were in the house. So if I ever do this again, I need to go shopping prior to this, because the urge, the need, gentlemen, for a pecan sandy was almost as if someone had been waterboarding me. The same urge that I would have for oxygen was what I had for a pecan sandy. Now, as quickly as all this happened, once I realized the disappointment of not having any cookies, and I was sitting there back on the deck, slowly but surely my body began to return to me. And first things started, because at one point when I was arguing with the house, Debbie and I were laughing so hard, you would have thought that we needed to be committed. It hurt so bad. I thought I was going to throw up. I was laughing so hard, to the point where I was. Yes, Debbie did say, she goes, "It was so good to hear you laugh like that again." But she was crying, banging on the table, begging me to stop arguing with the house. I was laughing so hard. In my mind, I'm like, do I just turn to my right and throw up off the deck? Or do I try to stand up and go and throw up in the grass? But I can't stand up, so I'm just probably going to throw up all over myself. We didn't throw up, but my stomach. Then, before my body came back to normal, I also had, at one point, my biceps felt like I had been doing curls for an hour and a half.
What?
Then the bicep pain moved down to my calves, which, as we spoke about before, were already watermelon sized. And now it had felt like I'd been doing calf lifts for about an hour and a half. And then that's when everything started to just go away. When my body started to return, my calves shrunk back down to normal size. Everything kind of returned to normal. And we went in the house. I sat down easily, feeling just my normal self. And I was asleep within like a minute and a half. And Debbie left me there. Debbie left. This was at like maybe 10:30 when we went in the house. I woke up at 2:00, only because I heard her going to the bathroom upstairs, and I thought, like, I'm in and out, and I'm thinking, oh, Debbie's going to the bathroom. She'll come down and see if I'm alive and maybe help me go upstairs. Nope, not at all. She didn't. Nope. The next day I go, you didn't even come down and check on me. She goes, well, I heard you snoring, and at one point I called your name and you didn't answer. I'm like, yeah. How long were you going to leave me down there? Well, you were snoring, so I figured you were alive. I'm like, all right, there. That's what I get. That's why I was always careful with this stuff, because I'm left to my own devices. I realize, though, I can only do this in my house, because I don't know if this is going to happen every time. I don't know if it was enhanced a little because I had a couple of beers beforehand. But I don't know. Like, I know for me, the way I felt Saturday, it was fun and I felt great. I could never do it anywhere else, because I don't know how people smoke and function. I don't know, because I couldn't move. I literally could not move. I wasn't scared by the fact that I couldn't move. Yeah. I was just like, this is weird. So then I sent you guys a picture of me just before I lit it and just before I fell asleep. Mm-hmm. So that was it. So, and you guys and Chris were the only people to know this was happening besides Debbie.
I'm honored and thrilled.
I thank you for that too.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
I knew you would get a kick out of it.
I have to be honest. My own personal experiences with pot, I always feel like my mind just slows down and I don't like it. Similar to what you said. I mean, it's fun enough, but there's something about it whenever you smoke it. I just feel like I go slow. I don't know if it's fully rock human, like you said you feel, but it's not the most fun.
See, but my mind, I didn't feel my mind was slow at all.
That's the only thing I feel that
my mind was firing on all cylinders.
I feel like my vision slows down. Like I'm moving in slow motion.
It very much depends. Craig, I can relate to what you're saying, particularly with edibles. Sometimes I feel like with an edible, it's very like, I mean, you guys saw me on 420.
Yes, we did.
I may or may not have had an edible. You tell me, did I seem way more out of it, or did I seem like I knew what I was saying? So that's kind of different.
It's hard to tell with you.
It is hard to tell with me. Brian, it sounds to me like you smoked an indica, obviously into couch, right? Like a body high, right? Because if your mind was very sharp, that would be a body high. A sativa, a sativa strain would be more of a head high, which would affect your head differently. So there is a possibility there's another type of strain of it that you could smoke and have a completely different experience that you may like more or less. But it sounds to me like you had fun.
Yeah,
I did have fun, and my wrist didn't hurt until for like a day and a half. My wrist didn't hurt.
Because that was part of the reason you had a little bit like some soreness, and you were like, oh, maybe
the arthritis in my wrist was horrible.
Yeah.
And so for Saturday night and all day Sunday, it didn't hurt at all. And I was like, ooh. But again, I equated it to Debbie like when I drink a Bourbon County Stout and I have to do it alone. I can't do anything else. I got to clear the calendar.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So if I were doing this, aren't you glad no emergency came up? Yeah, that would be Kim.
Yeah,
that would be paranoid.
Yes, but Kim, that's the same as every other scenario that you don't want an emergency to come up. Right. If you drink, if you do anything.
Well, I'm going to be honest. Tonight, I don't want an emergency to come up, and I haven't done anything. I had a little bit of wine, I never want an emergency to come up ever. So no. And listen, if somebody's having an emergency at 10 o'clock on a Saturday night, call me Sunday. It's too late. Because are you guys like this? If the phone rings really late, you automatically assume somebody's dead.
No.
Because people shouldn't call it midnight. If somebody's calling me at midnight, it's because somebody's dead.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
No.
Wait, who's calling you at 2 a.m, Craig?
I don't have a lot of people. No, hold on. I don't have a lot of people that have died. I only have a couple people that have died. So I don't assume death is what's behind that door.
Well, I don't wish anybody to die.
Right.
Right. When my parents call me, I usually get a little paranoid because I usually, ideally I call them to chat and stuff. But if they call me, it's like, uh-oh, who's in trouble? Who's in trouble? But not always.
I don't feel that way. If my mom calls me up until 10 o'clock at night, I don't feel there's any issue. I don't worry. It's when it gets after 10:30. That's when it's like something's got to be wrong. There better be something wrong. Because if you're just calling me to chat at 10:30, one, I'm not going to answer the phone. Because as soon as I leave my phone in the kitchen, plugged in, and I go upstairs to the bedroom. I don't have my phone anywhere near me during the night, so you're not going to get a hold of me.
I turn my phone off. I do the do not disturb. So you can't call me past a certain time of night.
And we don't have a landline anymore.
No.
Because we're cool, young people.
Right. Oh, yeah. Well, so I'm Brian, I've worked with you for like 12, 13 years. A very long time. I am very happy to hear that you had a good night. Like, it sounds like you and your wife had a blast.
We had, yes, it was incredible. It was only ruined the next morning when I saw my daughter and we told her the story. And I jokingly said, oh yeah, mom was coughing and I had to, and I was able to take big hits. Oh, here we go. This is going to be a thing now. And I'm like, I'm glad. I said to Debbie, I'm glad it was just you and I, because, next time if other people are here or whatever, that'll be fine. But for the first time, it was just Debbie and I, and we laughed our asses off, and it was crazy.
The one question I've been because I really wanted to hear about this. Like I said, we talked about this. I was like, I almost was gonna. I have travel plans. We've got a lot going on this week. I was almost.
I know you were going to bail.
I was like, maybe I don't know if I'm going to, I might take a week off. And then as soon as I got your text, I'm like, I'm absolutely got to hear this. But one of the questions, the main question, I think I turned to my wife and I was like, I wonder how Molly's going to react. And it's going to be either she thinks you're cooler now or somehow it was super lame. And I was very curious what her reaction would be.
Her retelling the story, because to Molly, I'm not amusing at all. There is no hi Brian,
really?
sober
really?
Brian. I don't believe no. So I started talking about obviously arguing with the house. While I did see a face in the house, the argument was for comedic purposes. I knew it was funny, me arguing in the house. And the more Debbie laughed, the more it kept me going. Just like if I'm on stage and I'm riffing and people are laughing, I will keep going. And so the fight with the house kept building and building and building. And you guys have both seen me do it on the air with stuff where things just take off. So I'm telling Molly, yeah, I had a fight with the house. And, well, that just sounds like you were trying to be funny. Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Molly doesn't think you're funny at all?
I don't know. She not when I actually. Maybe she does to her friends. Like she might tell you, "Oh yeah, he's pretty funny," but she doesn't really.
Her father is a stand-up comedian, a radio host. All these. She doesn't think you're funny.
I don't. Not all the time.
Wow. That is tremendous. That's better than the story, kind of.
And this, well, for you, not for me.
It is shocking, man. I can't believe that.
Like we're just trying to, because she was like, I almost wanted to text her that picture of me with it in my mouth before I lit it. And Debbie's like, no, just tell her tomorrow. So, she had some story to tell us, which we already knew that story. So she was disappointed. I go, we have bigger news. What? I go, guess who got high as last night? She's like, oh, really? And then we start telling her the story. And, we're telling it. I can't tell a story boring. I'm sorry. Well, maybe I can. Intentionally, I don't tell a boring story. If I'm especially a story like this that has had a 50-some year buildup to get to this point. There was and it was fun, and it was funny. And yes, I'm sorry. Your father getting high and arguing with a house is funny.
It's hilarious.
Even if yes, he admits that it kept going as a bit, but the bit was funnier because, one, it was peppered with MFers, as Hi Brian is wont to do.
The fact that you almost made yourself laugh to the point of vomit is pretty amazing, Noonan.
Yeah. It was bad. Well, I was laughing a little at what I was saying, but mostly how Debbie was reacting to
the reaction. Yeah.
Debbie was crying, like literal tears, and holding her stomach and just begging me to stop. So I'm laughing harder at that. And then in order to keep that going, I'm coming up with more insults for the house, and I'm arguing. And she's like, shh. And I go, I don't care who hears me. This fucking house is looking at me and it won't stop. And blah, blah, blah. But Molly didn't find those stories amusing.
Wow.
Yeah.
So. Well, aside from her being a bit of a buzzkill, I'm thrilled that first of all, anything happened. Second of all, that it was positive. Third of all, that you both got to experience it and it was so great. And then the icing on the cake of it all is that it even helped out, the medicinal purpose, which is why medical marijuana is legal in, I think, the majority of states at this point, isn't it? Or close to it. Medical.
Yeah, this was recreational. It's straight up rec.
Oh, sure. But I mean,
but it did work it did work for what I was hoping it would work for.
No, you know what I mean? I'm just saying that for people that don't aren't looking for the rest of that experience and just want pain relief, this is why a lot of places have legalized it, because it helps. That's cool. Like a whole day later. That's nuts.
Hey man, guess where this wedding is that we're going to in August?
Colorado,
baby. I'm going to get Rocky Mountain High. You know it.
Yeah, you did send it's you who sent the photo of Towley, right?
No.
I did, yeah.
Okay, that was Cody. Yeah. Okay.
Towley from South Park, yeah. No, dude, I'm thrilled. I hope you get the opportunity to experience maybe a sativa or a hybrid at some point and see if it's very different. And I hope you document it as thoroughly. But it's great. When I relayed a couple of the texts to my wife, because it was one of the highlights of our Saturday night. Just as soon as I got it, I'm like, this is the greatest thing ever.
It's kind of sad.
She said something along the, well, we were also watching, I texted you guys this, I think. We watched Goodfellas.
Oh, no, you didn't.
No, you didn't tell us that.
I had never seen Goodfellas.
Oh.
And then after that, it was 2 hours into the movie, and I said, is that Robert De Niro? And she looks at me and just goes, yeah, that's Robert De Niro. And I was like, I don't actually think I've seen a Robert De Niro movie. And she's like, yes, you have. And she's like, yes, you have. So I looked at Robert De Niro's IMDb. The only movie I have ever seen with Robert De Niro is The Godfather Part 2. I have never seen any other movie with Robert De Niro in it.
Really?
Ever. Yeah. Casino, Taxi
be?
Driver, none of them. Never seen any of them.
Wow.
You didn't see Rocky and Bullwinkle? Meet the Parents?
Not even Irishman?
Nope. None of them. Absolutely. Like literally, it was the first movie I've ever seen besides Godfather Part 2 with Robert De Niro in it. Period. Wow. Full stop. Weird. Wow. But in between,
I'm going to run down his whole IMDb page.
Literally none of them. None of them. No. Dude,
how many more movies have you seen with Patrick Stewart in it?
Patrick Stewart. He's not in any movies.
All the Star Trek movies?
I saw all 4 of the Star Trek movies. So yes, I've seen 4 Patrick Stewart. Well, and Dune, the original Dune.
And the X-Men movies?
And the X-Men movies. So I've seen probably like 8 Patrick Stewart. Wow, that's weird. Good. Wow, Craig just.
And 1 Robert De Niro. That I think you get your full nerd cred there, whatever credit is you're looking for.
Now, too, Twitter says I should see Casino and then Taxi Driver. But Brian, after we paused it for a minute and I was reading your updates and she was like, Brian sounds like he's like a 20-something experiencing his first like high, which is because everyone's first high is kind of the same. It's just that a lot of people do it earlier, and it was just great. It was great. Yours was different, Craig. Probably, maybe.
I didn't get anything. My first high was not a high.
Oh no.
Yeah. I remember in college smoking with a bunch of friends, and they all got Brian high, and I was just like, I'm not high, and I don't know what happened. I just didn't. It didn't hit. Yeah.
Yes.
Good talk we had.
I have some questions though. Well, I chastised you, and it was the only reason I like if this had been a normal, I don't usually text you guys stuff like that, but I knew that this was something that we had discussed and that you would get some sort of weird amusement out of. But I also chastised you because we had to resort to chopsticks because I was unclear on the roach clip situation. I have to now go to a head shop and get some of those clips with the long feather on them.
So I don't smoke joints. I do edibles or some kind of dry herb vaporizer. Like I have an Airizer or a Pax or a Mighty. So I'm using technology at all times. I have smoked joints or blunts, but I don't know. I guess I get to the end and it's just done. I don't know. But I'm not like a connoisseur. I've never rolled anything. I don't know how any of that works.
I'm wondering if a bong would be better if the water would then smooth out the smoke.
Yes.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. Well, that's why people spend $420, which is the actual price on a volcano, because that's apparently the smoothest thing. It just completely vaporizes it.
Debbie and Molly smoked out of a volcano.
And did they cough at all?
No, they loved it. But I don't have $420 to spend on a volcano. Or the desire to never move again.
You definitely should go buy a bong. I think that's something you should do, Noonan.
Think I should bong it up?
Yes.
Just a giant one?
Sure.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, I've got a lot of bud in the house. So, not enough for like the cartels to come and bother with me, just to be clear. In case
the cartels don't care about bud anymore.
People listen to this and going, how much could he possibly have? I don't know. Is a bale a lot? I'm pretty new at this. Is a bale of weed a lot of weed?
There's a few questions that came up during your story I'll answer. So first of all, the scent. For whatever reason, plastic and Tupperwares and plastic baggies, they don't conceal the scent at all. The only thing that will contain a marijuana scent is a glass jar.
Oh, really? It's in a glass jar, and the glass jar is then in all this other stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe a little loose or something, and it doesn't contain it 100%, but like by far the biggest odor concealer is glass, and I don't know why that is. I don't know the science, but that's just I've always known that. And that's
you're a science broadcaster.
You'd think, but I don't know. But so there's that. I will answer yes to the thing that you said that having a couple beers probably enhanced the experience a little bit. I think it does exaggerate slightly if you're a little bit, not even that buzzed, but 1 or 2 beers will, I think, loosen you up a little bit more and increase the effect slightly. So that probably did impact it. No, you probably will not feel like that every time.
God.
The way you described it, I was kind of like, oh my God, man, I used to get those like years and years ago. Like, I don't know that I could get that highness, like feel this, you know what I mean? Like, because your brain eventually gets a little bit used to it. So it's not so like, what's happening to me? Like, I think the watermelon thing might not happen quite as much. So there's that, but it's
but that when
great.
I felt like I was inflating, that was wild.
Dude, I literally, as soon as we're done with this, I just really feel like getting high now because you painted such a pleasant picture and being outside. It's just, I remember nights with my wife when I'd be a little bit into that, and I would start ranting about something, and she would literally tell me to stop because she'd be laughing so hard and like clutching her stomach and just like, I can't breathe. You have to stop. And I'd go on these rants, and she used to like write them down, and I had a little journal, and I'd occasionally write them down and stuff. But that's the best thing. It's the best thing. So I'm envious of that just excellent experience. And it's just great.
Thank you. It does end a long chapter in my life that I was weirdly proud of. I don't know why I was weirdly proud of it, that I had not ever smoked pot before.
Wow. And one of my other favorite texts you sent us is something about how you're going to do heroin next weekend. I think it was
complete gateway. I already feel, I've done 5 rounds of Coke today. And so I'm, and Debbie is right now in the basement, mad menning it up. We're Walter Whiting it. We are cooking a little meth. Yeah. Got some crystal going. The dogs are all in gas masks, which is fun. So there's a lot going on. I used to not believe it. I thought to myself, how can one join? How can one experience with marijuana, with the devil's lettuce? How can that lead to the downfall of society? Well, let me tell you, strange things are afoot at the Circle K, Bill.
I don't know why my brain went to the idea that you did put the dogs in masks and Debbie isn't wearing one. I don't know why I thought of it that way.
Well, Debbie and I are, listen, now we're
You're
big
immune.
Brothers. We're rolling the dice. Let's go. Boom, here we go. I don't even have any ventilation down there. So I'm going to turn on the stove and just pray for the best. We're going to see what happens. Boom, boom goes the dynamite.
Can I give you the weirdest tip that I just learned?
Yeah.
If and when you do get a small bong or water pipe, as they are referred to,
all right. Is that what they're referred to as?
If you fill it with really hot water, it will actually make it smoother. So we have like a little kettle boiler that we boil for tea, and I'll put hot water in it, and now it's a lot smoother. The other weird thing, if you fill it with with a citrus tea, like a orange tea, or like I don't know what oolong is, but like you literally brew tea and put that in there. Then when you draw from the water pipe, it imparts some of the flavor in it and makes it smoother. This sounds weird and made up, but I read it on a website and I tried it one time, and I was like, this kind of tastes better. It's weird and funny. And I don't do it every time because I don't want to waste my tea into turning it into
we do now need a weekend where you spend maybe the entire time at Cody's house and he brings you through all of the paces of the world of pot.
I will bring the pecan sandies and the number for Domino's. And we'll be
I would like a 48-hour period where Cody makes all your smoking decisions.
I'll bring you. Listen, we
enter you in.
Weed.
Yeah, we enter you in the door, we check in, and then 48 hours, you make none of your smoking decisions. He makes them all.
Listen, I'm game for.
All right.
I'm game for. But again, I don't. Once we start, there's a good chance I'm not doing anything. I was so glad. I was so glad that I never had to go to the bathroom during this whole time, because I wouldn't have made it either upstairs or downstairs. There was no chance, none. Like I said, the 8 feet to the refrigerator to get my Jimmy Dean Delight was, it was like climbing Everest.
Pressing question: when and if are edibles in the experimental plan?
I would imagine they would be, because Debbie said she liked the edibles the time she did it. We have to see. I don't know if edibles have an expiration date.
No,
because we do have a salted caramel edible that's been in the refrigerator since Thanksgiving.
Yeah, no, it's totally fine. Are you kidding? It could be from Thanksgiving 2018 and you'd be fine.
It's not, though.
Yeah, even better. Yeah, no, that'll do. Dude, completely different experience. And I know people that will get high instantaneously from one hit of smoking, and they can eat like 3 edibles and not be high at all. So it's a very weird thing. And also it's way slower. So you could eat it and you might not peak till 2 hours later. So just be aware.
Do us a favor and go get the edible. And then right at the end of the show tonight, you can pop it in.
Should have done it before we. Well, no, Debbie said when Debbie did. I think I told this story. It was a year ago. So it was Thanksgiving a year and a half ago when we got the edible. Anyway, she did part of it last February. So I was on the road. This was right before the pandemic. I was working in Kenosha, and she did half of the edible, and nothing happened. So she was impatient. So she ate the other one. She ate the whole edible. And then she thought she was going to die.
Mm-hmm.
So she went up to bed, scared that she was going to die and hoping that I would find her. Unlike her leaving me downstairs to fend for myself so the dogs would eat me. But that's neither here nor there. I don't hold a grudge.
And they have the gas masks.
Well, sure. Of course they have gas masks. They're, paid assassins. But so I don't know. She didn't think she was going to die Saturday night other than laughing herself to death.
Yeah. No, edibles are very weird. Like it's like you're not going to die from edibles. And people like know that consciously, but because they can hit you so hard after a period of time and you're aware of it, like if it's not if it's got enough of that, if it still keeps you aware, like the high that you had, then you're aware that you're feeling really weird. And like that little part of your brain just starts to say like something must be wrong, right? If you're feeling that different, if there must be something wrong. And that's why sometimes people feel like they're going to die. Because I had a friend, Logan, who had he bought like $200 in edibles or something and then took like too many one night. And then he just threw away the rest of them in Colorado. He's like, these are the devils. And he just threw them in the trash because he literally thought he was going to die. So you gotta pace yourself with those. And
I don't know. Kim commented that it was glad you had a fun time, thinking this would be good for your stand-up, not so good for your substituting. Yeah, I'll probably tell this story will probably end up in my stand-up routine because it's a good story, I think.
Yes.
But no, I would never. I told you I can't do this and go and do something, so I would never. I would never go go to school. And listen, what I did was legal. So, and I did it in my backyard with no children around. So the school district doesn't care. Mr. Noonan got high as hell. Oh, he argued with a house. Did you hear him talk about mariachi music?
Now he can't teach us math anymore.
Yeah. Mr. Noonan, why did you argue with the house?
Now I don't believe in your subtraction and your multiplication, Mr. Noonan.
Nothing you teach us means anything anymore. It's all a lie.
You don't know where a comma goes in this sentence, my friend.
And it's weird. I was teaching the fourth graders about symbolism the other day. What is symbolic about me arguing with a house? I don't know, man. Ooh. But just go with it. I almost put up a couple lava lamps in the back for tonight, just only for you guys. It was like I was trying to think. I have a Rasta hat. I was going to wear that, and I was like, no, anything to make you two laugh would have been the thing,
dude. That was a phenomenal story.
Oh God.
Yeah, I don't know what else we talk about now. I feel like this is the show today.
That might do it. Why? What are we going to try to? How are we going to try to top that? I don't know. I don't know. But yes, no, I am eager to go to Colorado now because that's where I can get that CBD cream, the really good stuff that I use on my wrist.
Can you fly with that?
I'm driving.
Okay.
I'm eastbound and down. I'm Jerry. I'm Smokey and the Bandit. You don't know what's coming back. I'm taking the floorboards out. I'm going to be, the DEA, you better get that chopper in the air.
Let me ask you this, and this is not, it's going to come out wrong. This question's going to come out wrong. I don't mean it the way it sounds.
I can't wait to hear it.
Okay. You've been around for a while when pot was illegal, like that's a large amount of your life. So did that come into the when you're smoking it, were you also realizing that it's legal? Like, were you thinking about that a lot, or did you feel like you were committing a crime?
I didn't think about it at all Saturday night, but it opened my mind to the prospect of doing it in general. Yeah, that was back.
So it didn't feel illegal though. By the time you started doing it, it felt like
when I did it Saturday, it just felt like I had reached a point in my life that I was doing something that I had never done, that a lot of people who, if they wanted to do it, did it years ago, and other people just never did it. And, it was something, as I talked to my therapist a while ago about it, because I'd said that Debbie was going to do it strictly for pain, to try to control some pain. And I said, and I told you guys this, that she was afraid I'd make fun of her, so she didn't want to do it. And he said, well, why don't you do it with her? I was like, oh, yeah. Why don't I do it with her?
Yeah.
There's a very good question. And part of it was and it's, we all have little things about ourselves that are odd, so like part of my identity, even if it was only to me, was that I was the guy who never smoked pot.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, I missed out. This was the hell was I waiting so long for? As I was sitting there and I couldn't move, I had a lot of time to think, and I thought, this is pretty cool. But kids say no to drugs.
Yeah. Whenever I've done it, that it's been legal, and it's only been a few times, I still feel like it's illegal. I don't know why that is. I don't know what about it. It still feels wrong. And I can't get over that for some reason in my brain.
Yeah, I didn't have, there was no thought of that. That's
nice.
Yeah, I didn't,
good.
Maybe because there's a dispensary like less than a mile from my house. So I know, it's everywhere.
Right.
It is everywhere. So that didn't play into it. Now, would I have done it if it was still illegal? Probably not.
Right.
Probably not. But I will say I'm taking the back seat out of my car and I'm loading it up with all kinds of stuff coming back from Colorado. It's going to be like Copperhead Road, that great Steve Earle song. I know, Kim, federally it's still illegal. That's why I got to take out my running board.
Kind of what I'm getting at is Kim's comments have been somewhat judgmental. Let's say it that way. Not maybe on purpose, Kim. I'm going to be fair to you. But I think that it's that stigma that still is surrounding this conversation. Brian did something akin to drinking beer right now in our society as far as legal goes. It's a different thing. So the loaded version of this conversation is so I do still feel every time that I do pot that I'm breaking the law, but I'm not. And it's important to start to realize that for all of us, I think.
I think maybe because I never did it when it was illegal.
Yeah.
I didn't have that, it's like if I had been getting hammered during Prohibition and then Prohibition
you weren't though,
ended,
right? You didn't drink during it?
No, I was very good during Prohibition. But man, the day they legalized it, I went on a 50-year bender. And I have not stopped. But so like I never had that. I never had the where I had to hide it, where I was, but I have been keeping my empty prescription bottles and peeling the label off. I don't know why. I just remember when I was in high school, everybody who had pot had it in a prescription bottle. Now, I'm never going to carry pot in a prescription bottle, but there's a part of me like, this is kind of fun. Put some prescription bottles up near the Tupperware where the pot is. I don't know why. I'm never transporting it. I'm never going to have to grease it up and jam it somewhere to take it into jail. I don't know why. I just seems like something fun to do.
Yeah.
I mean, and to me, Craig, like the way we're talking about it is the way that every celebrity and rapper has talked about it for like 30 years.
Yeah.
Like since the 90s. It's like, we're just make movies with a bunch of people smoking weed and then talk about how much weed we smoke. And it's just like, what?
Yeah. It's something that even though I had done it before when it was illegal, it wasn't like I thought that I was immediately going to get raided when I was somewhere in the cops. I don't know. There's something about it that felt different than drinking or anything else, though. And that stigma is not gone in my brain, even when I still encounter it.
No, and you're absolutely right. That stigma carries on with a lot of people.
Yeah.
Because there is that, I joked about it being a gateway, but there are people who really believe that it's a gateway.
Yes, they do.
There's people who think it's worse than getting drunk, or, people who have no problem with us talking about going and having a couple of beers, might go, oh boy, Those guys now they're potheads, you know.
But like, it's always so funny to me, just because like alcohol is a destructive drug.
Yes,
especially, I mean, just objectively, drunk driving accidents, domestic abuse. Like, people get drunk and beat their spouses. How many people do you think get high like you did and then beat someone up? They can barely stand up.
I would have laid a verbal smackdown on somebody. I'll tell you that.
When you even go into those conversations, Cody, you can't OD on pot. You can kill yourself from drinking too much. You can drink yourself to death in an evening. You cannot smoke too much marijuana.
Yes. Good time. And good comment. Kim also commented, "You're not breaking a state law, but a federal one. Not being judgmental, just stating fact," which is totally fair. To not say, but give you a frame of reference. I was in high school in the early 70s. Also, totally. That's a good context to have. Also, and I would imagine a lot of people, everyone's going to feel differently depending on what generation they were. But the people that were Woodstock probably, they've been smoking bud for 50 years.
It's
not that
it is legal here. So
no. I wasn't trying to buzzkill the conversation. I was just saying that for some reason it still runs through the back of my brain, even though I do enjoy. Although I think for the most part it just slows me down in a weird way. But I
definitely don't see this being an every weekend kind of thing.
It's okay if it was,
right? But again, I can't go anywhere and do it and risk. Now, granted, it was only for maybe an hour and a half where I couldn't move, but then after I could move again, all I wanted to do was sleep. So, I'm useless. That doesn't mean I won't do it again. It's just not like, woo, man, I can't wait. It's not like Sunday we were getting high again and I did a couple rips before. And I don't know if people just take like a couple hits and then leave it, and leave the joint for the next. I don't know. I don't know how this is done.
No, but like the thing is, it's weird. It's I don't consider it a social drug. Like alcohol is social lubricant, right? You get a couple, loosen up, and then you're good for the party. But like, there's a lot of people who, if you're sitting around talking and hanging out on the couch, you got 20 people over, 10, whatever, and take a couple of hits, like you just sit there and your brain just starts to like, or you melt in the couch and you're like, and it's like not fun. You're not like engaging more. It doesn't loosen you up. In your case, you had a very like your good presence of mind, but not all highs are like that. So like we've been at parties and somebody's like, "Oh, you want to take a hit?" And I'm just like especially my wife will just be like, "Dude, I'll fall asleep. What are you doing?" No, like I don't want that. So, but I think in very small groups, probably, and it depends.
You guys would have enjoyed yourself.
We would.
I'm telling you, I was on, man.
Yeah, no, small groups. It's situational. It depends on the type of the strain. It depends on the quantity you're smoking. It depends on the company and how they react. Right? If it's 4 people that just fall asleep, that's no good. But if one person's really entertaining, I have one friend that is far too talkative in general normally, but after getting high, quiets down a lot and slows down. And then I'm like, oh, I can handle you now. This is great. As soon as this person walks into the door, I'm like, this doesn't really happen, but I would be like, here is cannabis, consume this. And then we can have a reasonable time together.
Nice. So. Yeah. Listen, it was fun. It was,
it sounded like an amazing evening.
Who knows if or when it will happen again.
Mm-hmm.
Probably.
Today.
There's a lot today. You're all welcome to. Oh man.
I'm doing it tonight.
I've been I got to go down to the lab, make sure everything else is cooking up. My blue crystal, getting ready to go.
Make sure the dogs are okay.
Well, the dogs are very haphazard when it comes to safety. I trained them as best I could, but they don't really care. They don't open the doors. They don't, they don't handle things with the tongs right. They've already dropped a couple beakers. Those are not cheap. So.
I wanted to ask you guys about, do you remember first that you had in the house that you purchased, like the first time I'm remembering first right now in a very silly way. And I don't know if this is unique to me or if this is common.
Christening each room?
Well, no, that's not. I killed a spider for my wife, and it was the first time I killed a spider. We're probably being overly sentimental. We ordered our first pizza over the weekend. I played basketball on my hoop that's attached to my garage, although I'm pretty sure I'm damaging my garage door but I did that for the first time. I'm marking all these firsts because I own this place and I've never owned a thing before. And so I guess Cody bought a house more recently. Do you have any firsts that were memorable and valuable?
The only thing we did is my wife insisted that I carry her over the threshold.
Nice.
Even though we had been married, and we had already been in the house to do some work on it or whatever. But the day we moved in, when we pulled in with the car, I remember she jumped in my arms and I carried her into the house as a symbolic.
Do you have one, Brian?
Boy, I'm trying to think of all the houses, and if I remember firsts.
Killing a spider for the first time. I told that story on the radio the next day, and it probably didn't hit as well with anybody but me. But I don't know. I like the fact that happened. And
no,
then
it's good to remember it.
Yeah.
I remember the first time, like in California when we bought our house, the first time my parents came to visit.
Mm-hmm.
The first time Molly came into the house after I had told her, I'd make sure I had her room painted and her swing set up before she came. And so they were done. So I remember her coming into the house for the first time.
To respond to Mike, I did do that. We did buy new toilet seats.
Did you really?
Yeah, we bought two of them. They gave us one because I guess one of them was broken, which is not a good sign. And so
go ahead. Sorry.
When we replaced that one, Betty and I were talking. That was the first thing we did when we got in. After we started walking around, we're like, "Oh, we got to put a toilet seat on a toilet because this is a problem." Then we immediately went out and bought the other one. So I have accomplished that goal, Mike.
I like the fact that you said they gave us one. Normally, and Cody, you can back me up on this, the toilet seats come with the house.
Yeah, that's normal.
They had an extra one sitting aside, not attached to the toilet yet, that seemed as if they understood the fact that they had broken their last one, but they had not replaced it.
And they're not hard. If you've never done it, it's a very easy project. Yeah. So they could have done it before you moved in.
They could have done a lot of things before.
It's probably true. But no, I don't remember like things like killing a spider and stuff.
Anything, yeah.
I remember things about every house that we've been in, but not so much the first things,
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. And playing basketball for the first time in my own backyard.
That's nice.
I know it was nice. Although I cannot dunk. I'm pretty sure that I'm ruining my garage door already. And my neighbor has a lovely, ridiculous amount of flowers just off the left side of the basket. So if I miss that direction one time, bad things will happen.
Oh, no.
Luckily, I'm really good at basketball, though. So
I was going to say, maybe you need to get better at basketball.
No, I didn't miss any shots to the left.
Okay. But you're hitting your garage door.
Well, it's when it goes through the hoop, Noonan.
Oh, okay. Well, listen, I'm picturing you throwing up air balls and slamming them into your garage door.
No, they're getting slowed down by the net, but they're still,
Well, you got to get one of those bars that will shoot the ball right back to you.
Oh, I should do that. That's a great idea.
Yeah, the automatic rebound bar.
Yes.
I'm all about ideas. All about it. Oh, my mind is, you know what? My mind is opened up, fellas.
I have a bidet. I just keep responding to Mike now. I own a bidet. I bought one during the pandemic, an add-on, and it's now in storage. But I have one.
Now we know why you take your pants off, because you're turning a fire hose on your ass every time you go to the bathroom.
The bidet is amazing. Hold on. The bidet is a product we should all have. We should all have them. Yeah, we can. It's great. It's so much better than the other options. Everything about it was wonderful. Because toilet paper,
you still have to wipe, don't you?
No, not really. A little. Toilet paper was non-existent. You got to do like a swipe. Toilet paper was so difficult to get during the pandemic that I went bidet very soon in, and I did not look back until we had to move. I would bidet right now.
Doesn't it? I mean, it's all about the pressure. So if you have we have horrible water pressure. I don't want.
Mine has mine. You can turn it up. You can turn it lower or turn it up, so everybody has their own volume.
Man,
no, I'm alone. Cody is checked out.
Well, Cody's not French, so we know there's an issue. Is it your stomach again, Cody?
No.
Oh.
What? No, I'm fine. I don't know how to feel about the bidet thing. It's probably great. It's probably great. All right.
You've never tried it.
All right. Let me make an analogy. Every diabetic I've talked to has sworn by their insulin pump. My endocrinologist is like, you'll have more control over your diabetes if you use an insulin pump. Everyone, the pump is the thing, right? Like if I want to be the best diabetic in the world, I get an insulin pump. I don't want an insulin pump. I don't want that like tube sticking out of me. Whatever. I make excuses. Everyone says I would love the insulin pump. I understand. I probably would love the insulin pump. Don't want to do it. I just don't feel like making the switch. I'm used to toilet paper. I've been doing toilet paper my whole life. I don't feel like trying it. I don't feel like making the switch. I'm sure it's great.
You're not. Okay, hold on. I got to correct you and Kim now because you're not fully making a switch. No, Kim, there was not a towel that you dried yourself off. That is disgusting. You still use the toilet paper to clean up the end part. There's still toilet paper in the equation, just nowhere near as much. It's a very small amount of toilet paper.
I just would always worry that I would feel like I would feel damp. Like
that's
like
what the toilet paper is for.
I understand the concept of toilet paper.
The other thing is, Craig, I sometimes trust your opinion. This is one of those cases. But the problem is the one person whose opinion I absolutely will not ever listen to is Montesquieu.
Yes.
And Montesquieu,
Patrick wants to know.
Montesquieu loves bidets so much he drinks like a water fountain from his bidet.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
yeah, he's like a dog human. He uses it for both ends.
Dude.
It's horrifying.
That's
I don't. It's not. Yeah, I'm with you, Cody. I'm not saying that it's.
Neither of you have tried it.
I did. I did try one once.
Okay.
And I might have done it wrong. I don't know. It didn't. It was not satisfying in any way.
It's not supposed to be.
Well, it is because trust me, a clean backyard is a happy backyard.
Yeah.
And this bidet did not clean my backyard.
Okay, then you had a bad bidet.
I might have had a bad bidet all day.
That's what you had. Yes.
Okay. So I'm not poo-pooing it for somebody else.
It was Brian's bad bidet. It could be a children's book.
A bad bidet all day. Okay.
Right. No, if you get a good one, and I have a well-reviewed one, it's okay.
Craig, I just told you you're probably right, but that doesn't matter. Sometimes people don't need to be right. Sometimes people don't care when people are right.
Right. Mm-hmm. We're not saying you're wrong. If you like a fire hose cranked up your backside, God bless you.
Yeah.
Thank you to Tom. Thank you for Tom for being on the bidet train.
I like to go to Sam's Club and get my pallet of toilet paper, and that works just fine for me. You know?
Okay.
Yeah. Kim's right. Kim's right on this point. You got a wet backyard and you're using toilet paper. You're leaving residue.
Depends on the toilet paper.
Yeah.
Well, what are you using? Sandpaper?
No, you got to get the extra double, nice stuff.
So you're paying more money for your toilet paper because you got this fancy bidet.
I barely use any toilet paper, so I can buy the double Charmin extra soft, absorbent kind.
Not a fan of that kind of toilet.
What if next to the toilet you kept a hairdryer plugged in at all times? Hear me out. Blow hot air into your butt after you shoot it with water. After you make your butt wet with moisture, use a hairdryer.
I'm not sure I'm there yet. Could you explain it again? Could you get me there one more time? So what do I do?
You think
Cody?
He's crazy, Craig? I have done that, Cody, and it is fantastic.
We don't know if Noonan's kidding now.
Fantastic.
Noonan, we don't know if you're kidding.
I am not.
He doesn't sound kidding.
You've done what now? You didn't do it after a bidet. You did it after like a shower.
I did it after a shower. Sometimes,
hold on. I want to articulate the sentence. I want to say it clearly into the camera, and then I want you to say yes or no. You used a blow dryer on your butt?
Yes.
And you did this because?
Because one, everything
How
wet.
could you not be willing to do a bidet, but you blew dry your butthole?
Because warm air is fantastic.
This is the most hypocritical. I know Cody just said it doesn't matter when someone's right and someone's wrong. This is ridiculous.
Well, first of all, we didn't say you were wrong about the bidet. We said we didn't like the bidet.
No, Cody said I was right, but it didn't matter who's right or wrong. It always matters. Right or wrong is always important.
Cody, for the man who brought up the using a hairdryer occasionally to, fluff and fold your delicates,
Ascon After Dark.
Yeah. So
Patrick, this is an After Dark conversation.
I like the way, but we are talking about, we're talking about it in a very comfortable way. We're not being graphic.
No. I'm very comfortable.
You are comfortable. Cody,
you know what I'm doing? I'm actually sat down to take a dump.
Did you take your pants all the way off?
You're doing an eagle squat?
Yeah. I have a hair dryer in the table in front of me. And after I'm done, I'm actually not even going to use a bidet. I'm just going to blow dry it off.
Oh, what? Then have somebody come with a chisel? Get it all off of there once you bake it on there like
hold on. I
like
want to know
bread.
I want to know what the process was like, Noonan. So you're taking a shower and you're like,
shower,
man,
everything's
I can't,
and
can I fill in my version first?
Yeah, you go ahead.
You were thinking to yourself, man, I can't fully dry back there for whatever reason. It's always been a challenge for me. Oh, look, a blow dryer. Let me try this out and see how it feels. And then this is amazing, is the way that went for you.
Yeah, pretty much.
I wouldn't be inspired to try it.
I don't want to take it was the first time I was in a hotel. There's been more than one time, but like a lot of things, the first time was in a hotel. And you don't want to use a hotel towel like a chamois down there where you got one hand in front of you and you're flossing.
No,
like so, a ShamWow?
Yeah, it's not a ShamWow.
Huh.
So, you're all done and then you shower and you shave and you're standing there and things are still a little damp and you're like, the towel is wet. Now it's not going to do any good back there. Oh, look. Right. So then you hoist one leg up on the counter and you're done.
So you blow dry everything or you just focus on that area?
You can do a little, whatever, but yeah, down in the ravine where the swamp is.
I can't believe I'm treated like the craziest person on the show because I use a bidet and we're having this conversation.
I literally said you're right.
Yes, you're being way too sensitive. Nobody attacked your use of a bidet. If your delicate backside needs to be watered down and tended to like a garden, good. God bless you. We're happy for you. Nobody said you were wrong.
Okay.
Mine has an irrigation system built in, so I need to dry it out. So that's why, and I haven't done this in a long time. Maybe I bring it back, but sometimes you just gotta think, especially like if it's really humid, you're all sweaty, and even after a shower, you're just sweaty, and you don't want to put, I'm not going to put baby powder on there and cake things up, and look like I'm trailing yay-ho out of my pants when I'm walking down the street. So I just hit it with a blow dryer. Poof. Perfect.
Craig, valid question in the comments. Instead of a bidet, could you use a douche canoe? Mandatory.
Well, that is a valid question. And we need to celebrate his first use of douche canoe. I have never tried it. I don't know if I'll get there.
Mike actually called the house a douche canoe. Wondered if I had called the house a douche canoe during the thing. Patrick or Tom says, laugh out, LOL. Bidets are not like an enema.
Yes, they're not.
Spray, wipe once to dry off, and you're golden. Use your double or quad fold of paper. Nothing sticks.
Hold on,
Tom.
Right. Craig, you
Preach
were
to the
right.
People, Tommy.
Craig, you were right, and I admitted you were right until I realized a bidet is not like an enema. I am no longer interested at all. I only thought you were right when I thought people were actually getting a water enema and then blow drying their butts. And now that I know that that's not the case, it's kind of like,
what's the point?
What's the point?
What's the point? It's not shooting up there. It's not shooting up there. It's such a strong stream that you're spitting it out. Then there's no reason to even do it.
Yeah, dude. Let's go.
By the way, I do agree that the dryer after a shower a fan, and you're just standing in front of the fan and drying the whole body. I agree with that. That's not a focused blast of air to a specific part of the body.
Well, maybe I don't need a fan on my whole body. Maybe I'm only swampy in one area.
I used to always air dry after swimming in the ocean or swimming in the pool. I never wanted to use a towel. I would get out and I would air dry myself. So it's a similar concept, I think.
Let me ask you this, Craig. Would you drink bagged milk?
Yes.
Okay. Well, you are a type of person that is willing to try new things, and that's great. But people, marketing people, tried bagged milk happens in Canada. Like in Canada, you buy
happens in Wisconsin at the Quick Trips.
Oh, there you go. Right. There's a bunch of places where bagged milk happens, but like not nationwide in the U.S. Like you don't walk to the Jewel or like CVS or Walgreens and have bagged milk. They tried bagged milk in the Northeast, the East, long time ago, and it failed because people were used to the regular milk that's not in a bag. So it just reminded me of that, and I was like, I bet Craig would drink bagged milk, which is great. But we Americans are just set in our ways. You know, there are way better ways to do almost everything that we do as a society, and we don't. Like, why do kids start school at 7 a.m.? That's very stupid and dumb. And every scientist is like, that's wrong. Start them later. They can't even learn at 7:30. What are you doing? We just do it because it's the way we've done things. It's the same with bidets, Craig. Like, my butt could be happier, but it's not because I don't want to try it because I'm an idiot because I'm American. That's what I'm saying, basically.
I thought of a new bumper sticker for my show, The Craig Collins Show, Your Butt Could Be Happier. I do like that show.
But why make my butt happy if my brain is miserable?
I don't know. I'm going to give out bidets now. I'm going to give Craig Collins Show branded bidets.
Yeah.
Do it.
Why? Because, no, I mean...
No, save it. Let's do that off here. Keep them all, Noonan. I don't want them here. Give them to me later.
Never mind.
Like, marijuana's fun. Doesn't hurt anybody. Should be legal. It's not legal because we're just setting our ways. You know? What did Tim say?
Who holds the bag open under the counter? Cody, it's funny. I had never seen bagged milk before, but at the Quick Trips in Wisconsin, that's one of their things. They have the bagged milk, and then they have the little thing that you put the bag in that you, it's like a little pitcher deal, and you drop the bag in there, and you stick the nozzle through, and that's how you pour the bagged milk.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Taxes.
Big thing.
Taxes. The government knows how much we owe them every year, but instead of sending us a bill, we got to spend 14 hours collecting documents to figure out how much we owe them. And then if we're wrong, we get in trouble, even though they already know how much we owe them. But that's just the way we do things because we don't like to change things. So it's Craig, all I'm saying is there's so many things we should change. We should all have bidets. You're definitely right. But we don't because human beings are just not good at things. And,
so if we come to your new house for a party,
I don't have any bidets set up. They're two normal toilets.
If I go out in the backyard after I'm done, will you just hit me with the hose?
I will. Yeah, that's fine.
Not like a police brutality thing. I mean, like with the water.
No, I got you.
Okay.
I'll do it the right way.
All right.
I'm going to close my eyes though, Noonan, because I don't want to see a lot of that. So it's going to be a little bit, I'm probably not going to aim well.
Well, that's why I take my pants off too. Is that a thing in your house? Do you have a little sign in the bathroom? Please remove all pants before.
You got to try. Have you ever tried it? There's something so freeing about it.
Without my pants on all the time.
Right. It's better.
But if I have them on, I don't take them all the way off. If I stroll into the bathroom before a shower, then I'll,
Right. Fully naked.
I'm just there. Yeah, sure. Why not?
That's the best way. That's the way God intended.
Right.
Yeah. We have the technology to make wireless surround sound home theater system speakers for incredibly cheap and incredibly high accuracy and high efficiency. There's only like 2 brands making good, high quality wireless speakers. Why are we doing that? Because people are set in their ways. I'm just saying, better ways to do things. Better ways to do things, like the bidet.
I feel like what Cody needs is a rocking chair and a porch of some kind as he's having these takes. I would like to see you maybe a beard.
He's like the modern day Larry King with his crazy little columns.
We're just setting our ways.
Selena Gomez. If anybody's better than her, I don't want to meet him.
None of you have yes-anded me. I am just brainstorming over here all by my lonesome on the bottom row. I did you
with the blow dryer on my butt.
Well,
I exposed myself to Craig's ridicule because I like warm air to dry off my delicates.
There's been a lot of exposing on this show. My pants have been off for a while now.
Open book. This show is an open book. Speaking of the wireless speakers, I got myself a sound bar this weekend. To go with my television. I upgraded my viewing experience with a sound bar and a wireless subwoofer.
Mm-hmm.
Wireless.
How is that? How is that going?
It's fantastic. I'm surprised I'm up here talking to you two. Should be downstairs watching a movie.
I am resisting right now and waiting for Prime Day to buy a short throw projector so that we have a new way to watch TV, watch movies that's not a television at all.
Nice.
What is that? I've never heard of that.
It's a little box. It would look like this essentially, and it would be about 5 feet from a wall, and it would throw a giant screen, a valuable HD projected screen onto said wall. Some of them come with, their own projector screens, which I think I would buy to get a better viewing, experience. Yeah. And they're expensive though. They're not, the best one is not cheap, but the fact that it's short throw makes it essentially the same as like having a TV set up that's not mounted.
Yeah. You can spend like $10K on those.
You can, but that's why I'm waiting for Prime Day.
Now, what's the benefit of that over a television?
The giantness of it, Noonan. I mean, to get a TV the size of the projector screen would be more money than any projector that because you can have like a giant movie theater-esque screen at that point.
A wall that big?
No.
Okay. Oh, all right. Well, then that makes sense.
It's all.
Maybe you can go pick it up on your motorcycle.
Yeah, well, I want to. It's also just the coolness of it. I think, like, I'm going to have the biggest version I can in my basement, and I don't know how big that is. I haven't measured yet, but it's something about it that feels different. I don't know how many movie theaters we're going to go to for a while, even though we're fully vaxxed as of this Friday or Saturday. But I can do it in my basement, and that sounds pretty fun.
Oh, listen, I think it sounds great.
There we go.
You're going to come
for a lot of money.
Your butt's going to be all slick and clean. You sit down on your theater seats and watch your throw projector.
Have I talked about the couch I was going to buy? Or are these terribly boring topics?
No,
they might be terribly boring. Couches have come a long way technology-wise. Have either of you shopped for one recently?
Yeah, I bought one when I moved in last year.
What did you buy?
A sectional. Customized it.
Does it do anything? Is it almost a transformer? Or is it just a seat that you sit on?
We did not get multiple recliners and cup holders, but we did get a chaise lounge.
Talking about any of that. None of that. I mean, I'm going to have that on the couch that I want desperately. It doesn't vibrate. In the middle seat, you can lift it up, and there's a reading light embedded in it, and then there's a little button you push, and out comes this table with multiple charger ports on it. It's the smartest couch I've ever experienced, and the guy knew the moment I walked in. He's like, "This guy is smart couch guy." And I desperately want it now. It's several $1,000s. I think I should also probably wait till Prime Day for it. And I had a long conversation with Betty after we got home. What do we need it for? There's plugs near where we'd put a regular couch. I can plug there's no value to it, but it can do those things. And I want it because it can do stuff. I don't want just a couch. That's boring now that I know there's a different version of a couch.
Yeah.
This is when I sound like my dad. It sounds like there's so many things that could break on that couch.
Yes, there are.
Yeah.
Way too many things to get. I want a couch that is just going to support me comfortably, that I can relax on. Mm-hmm. I have lamps, and like you said, I have outlets in my house, and I
have remote controls to recline both sides, so you don't have to hit the button on you. You can hold the remote control, recline yourself that way. It feels more like a movie theater with the projector. So I get the short throw projector, the fancy couch, and it's like I'm going to the AMC in my basement. I haven't brought either of you over on. Betty also thinks this is a horrible idea. With all the money that it costs to purchase a home, and there's a lot of money involved in that process. Yes. You shouldn't buy other things. We also probably need a new car eventually. So, but I want the couch, guys. I really want it.
Well, I want a pony. So we all have our desires. Listen,
I'll broadcast from the couch if that'll add.
I have a tip for you. Craig.
All right.
If you want to like upgrade a bunch of stuff in your house for dirt cheap and feel like you have gotten like $10,000 worth, get on Amazon. Wait for Prime Day. Buy a bunch of really long LED light strips. You can get my podcast closet is entirely lit by one LED strip. It's like a 60-foot strip. It was like $25. What you can do, Craig, line the strip underneath the couch, right? Underneath the outline of the couch, plug it in the back. They all come with remote controls. All of them come with remote controls.
No.
You can sit on your couch and then be like, check this out. Boop, boop. Bottom of your couch, glowing. It looks totally badass. You can do this, Craig. You can do this trick with the shelves behind you.
I never wore the sneakers that lit up as a kid. You're telling me to get the adult version of the sneakers that lit up as a kid to light my couch. That's not what I want. I don't want a light up couch. I want a couch that has a HDMI something that emerges from the middle of it. That's what I want.
But you said it has a lamp.
It does. It has a reading lamp in the middle headrest. If you lift it up and double press it, there's a little light in there.
But Cody's right. You could do that to your couch. Then you could get some for your car. And
here's what you do. Go to wevibe.com.
That sounds like a sex toy.
It is a sex toy, absolutely. I've heard it advertised on podcasts.
I would
go
like
to WeVibe, put it under your couch.
That's the first time I've seen Noonan. That's the first time I've seen Noonan immediately type something in and Google it while we're doing the show.
Cody and I do it all the time. Right. It is that. Never mind.
Literally a sex toy. Get the one with the remote control, Craig. Plug it in under your couch, and then when you sit down, be like, check this out. Click, click, and then it's like, and then you're vibrating on the couch.
The pot story was wonderful. The first Google by Noonan was a sex. That's amazing. This show's been incredible.
I didn't know that it was actually a sex toy.
That's fine. People come here every week. This show is great, and you're hopefully very entertained. We have a great time doing it.
I think we've covered a lot tonight.
We have.
So,
we have.
I think I'm
going to text you both the couch and the bidet that I own.
All right, please do. Again, we're not. I think I can speak for Cody on that. We're not against the bidet. We are men.
You're not rushing out to purchase them.
Correct.
So you still have some sort of reticence here.
No, it's literally because humans like us are too lazy to do things differently. Did you not hear what I said about taxes and school start times?
Please do your bits
surround sound speakers.
Let's revisit them all.
Tell me, you come up with something that society could do better easily, but we just don't because we don't feel like it. There's probably a lot, right? Probably a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Probably a lot of things.
Lots of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And
no, Kim, LED lighting is not a sex toy. The wevibe.com is a sex toy. Maybe they'll be a
LED
sponsor
lighting
on realities may vary.
LED lighting, dude, they sponsor Sex with Emily and a bunch of other podcasts.
Okay. Well, maybe they'll sponsor ours.
It's a good show. It's Sirius XM.
Speaking of sex toys, friends, don't forget to listen to Craig Monday through Friday from 3 to 6 on WMBD, where he discusses a wide range of topics. I don't know if this is one of them, but call him tomorrow during the show and ask him about his bidet and see if he will talk to you about it in depth. Now you know if the WMBD sales team is not tomorrow looking for a bidet sponsorship for you, somebody in Peoria is asleep at the wheel. A great band, but a bad mentality for a sales force. You can listen to Cody every day on Curiosity's Daily podcast, curiositydaily.com, where he is a science podcaster and executive producer and co-host. Did I get all last week? Craig yelled at me because I didn't say he was an executive producer.
Dude, my friend texted me a screenshot of a conversation he had with a friend, and she was like, "Hey, is Cody on this like podcast? I was looking at a list of famous podcasts, and it looks like he was on it." And my friend texted her back and was like, "Yeah, he's one of the hosts." And I texted him back immediately and said, "And executive producer, you jerk." I was very upset about it.
He's the executive producer and co-host of CuriosityDaily.com. Craig is the host and the executive producer. And I believe he's the board op, and he's also the sales manager for the Craig Collins Show, which you can hear every day, Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 on WMBD. That's 1470 WMBD.
I will also be filling in for Chad Benson on Friday. That is from Radio America. That is from... Well, it's all over, depending on where you live. You could actually send me a message. And then I have an Indianapolis fill-in coming up in about a week.
Look at you.
I love Craig shows. Like, I really, legitimately, when I put on the screen sometimes, I'm just like, this is very entertaining. It's just great.
I hope you do bidet hour now.
You know why? Because
I'm going to do.
You don't have two white men, hetero cis white men, telling you why they don't want to pump water in their butts on your shows. They're your shows. You get to tell people about their butts, and you're right every time.
Wow,
and that is why.
Hot take.
Dude. No, I really
hot take on water in your butt.
Everybody knows I like Brian's shows. I've been working with them for 45 years, but I love both of your shows. They're great. Both of you keep doing shows. Keep doing
We're
shows.
hoping to, I'm
You're
sure
good
that's
people.
that's the plan.
I'm gonna get so high after this. Oh my God. I just Googled what are things people do that they only do because we've always done it this way. And Redditor Marching Ants 1234 says, I have two coworkers who print an email and scan it back to themselves as a PDF. Yes, I've shown them how to save the original digital file as a PDF. Yes, they keep printing and scanning. Those are people that will never try a bidet, Craig, because they're not enlightened. I've said it before and I'll say it again. You're right about the bidet thing, but humans are not good at life. And that is why I will not try a bidet in the near future. All right.
Before we get out of here, let me say this: we've had some comments about Apple Podcasts being slow to realities may vary not showing up on the Apple Podcast. I have investigated this. This is an issue with Apple. They are inundated with new podcasts, and so they are having trouble, but they are working on it. We will definitely stay on top of this. Apple Podcasts, here's the quote, is experiencing major delays right now that are out of their control. They're working on the issue, but don't have a timeline on when it will be resolved. Anchor is continually monitoring this and will ensure that our podcast is submitted. So they are delayed. So if you can't find them on Apple Podcasts, you can go to Anchor. You can go to all kinds of other places.
Google.
You can Google them. You get
Spotify.
all the places where you get podcasts. So we
do
know what's happening.
On that, Apple has switched over to like a new anyway, they updated a bunch of systems, and like Brian said, literally hundreds of thousands of podcasters are having problems with them right now. Everyone in the podcast industry is very upset about it, very upset. Apple claims it will be switched over to this new back system by June. So give it a week, see what happens. I don't think they're going to make that happen, but it's a really, really big deal. It's not just there's a lot of issues. That we're talking hundreds of thousands of people. So yeah.
But I did want to bring that up because we've had some people asking about it. So there you go. All right,
Tim, the first sentence to that ad copy for Tim would probably be, "How's your butt feeling?"
Oh,
your butt could feel better. Craig Collins has the answer.
Wow. I please run that by your boss tomorrow. Let us know how it goes so we could discuss it next week.
Guys.
It's going to be fantastic. I know, we know that in every industry, bosses are always open to suggestions, whether it's broadcasting or working in an office or working at Target. Your boss always wants to hear your ideas.
They love them.
Sure, they do, and they usually enact them quickly.
Very.
So it doesn't matter. We've all talked to our bosses at different places. And I remember when I told the guy at Ben & Jerry's, it doesn't look bad if I'm eating the ice cream right out of the tub. It shows the consumers just how good it is.
Yep. Oh my God. Wait, Brian, before we go, I have to tell Craig something. My in-laws are visiting right now. My brother-in-law is downstairs. And when he got here, he opened a can of garbanzo beans and started eating directly out of the can.
That's the right way to do it. I
needed you to know that, Craig. He didn't ask us for silverware. Nope. He didn't ask for anything. He just cracked it open, opened the can, and I said, my friend Craig is going to be told about this immediately.
Yeah. Well, as you said, humans resist, but there's better ways to do things. I can fix your butt, and I can make your food much more enjoyable and way less messy.
Only if you want to eat like a hobo, like you're riding the rails. Who eats beans right out of a can?
I would.
Did you carry them in a bindle home from the grocery store too? With cork dust on your face? Singing songs about Old Man River and singing songs about being on the railroad. I've been working on the railroad all the live long day.
You're just the man resisting, dude. The changes are out there, and you're just the man.
You know why I'm resisting cold beans? Because I have a stove. That's why I resist cold beans, because I am man and I've created fire, which will help me cook my food. I am no longer a prehistoric man who has to tackle a woolly mammoth and start gnawing at its back end and eat it raw. I can take said woolly mammoth and put it over a fire and grill it to perfection.
Yeah.
Much like my garbanzo beans, which I had never heard of till I started watching Zoom. And
I've never had a garbanzo bean.
You probably have.
I
don't think so.
I have in my weaker moments eaten tuna fish directly out of a can. But I'll at least dump some mayonnaise or some mustard in there before
In the
swirl it
can
up.
too?
Yeah.
Oh my Lord.
On that note,
good night, everybody. We'll talk
bye,
to you
everybody.
next week. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks for putting up with whatever. We'll talk to you again next week. Good Lord willing and the creek don't rise, as the kids like to say, from 1906. Bye.